Hi and welcome to Content for Coaches. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to use the container widget. This is the widget where you actually build new blocks on your page to actually add new content wherever you want. So if we actually take the container, drag it to here, what we've done is created an additional block on the page, and as you can see this has already got the column built in here, the one I put the line around just to show you it was there. It's already done, it's designed for you to be able to put in other widgets and other content onto these pages. Now there are a couple of things you can actually do with these blocks which is kind of cool. Let me just move this up so we can actually see the block. So here's the block. You've got the margin top and bottom where you can actually adjust the spacing. Good spacing on a website is great for readability and looking at the view. You've also got the ability to do the same on the bottom of every block, and you can actually see these handles, right? So when the handle's not been highlighted, you can't move it. The minute it's highlighted, you can actually change it, and it shows the size here in pixels, so you can actually change it to whatever height you want. To me, it's just an eyeball it. I do it normally between 50 and 60, but it is completely up to you. You've also got settings you can change on the block as well. We'll click on, if you hover over the actual word block, you've actually got three settings here. The first thing is actually to resize the container. The second one is to copy it. So you've got a block that you've created, the design, everything else that you liked. We can actually copy the block, and then you can actually just delete it. First thing to look at is the settings on the block. If we click on block, it opens the edit container settings dialog box. You can actually create a background image on this. So if we were to click on there, it would open your image folder. I actually don't have one handy in here, but maybe I could go looking for one. Let's see. Yeah, these are the video covers that I've actually been doing. So let's click on that, see what happens. This is for the this is the video splash image for one of the for the text widget video. So what I've done now is put that onto there, and you can see if we close that, it's actually spread it out all the way, and we're losing a lot of the content on there. So we click on box and we click on the image. Not a great image for the background, not something I would actually like, but that's how we do it on there. We can also add the parallax effect, and what that does is mean when you scroll, for example, if we were to save this and then scroll on a view, it would actually move the background. It's not a long enough page to do it. It would actually move the background slower than the main page, which is a great effect for some different images. So what we're going to do is we'll take that image away for now. Click on the little trash can icon, it deletes the background image. We can change the color of a background. Sometimes you want to change the color, just like I did on previous videos. We can actually have different colors for the background. You can pick one of those global colors that's already in the system that I've set up before, or you can choose literally any color in the scale just by redoing the hashtag number there, or using the RGBA, and then you've got the opacity to make it less or more opaque for the color on the thing. So let's take away the background color. This one at the bottom right here is actually for transparent, so there's no background color. Also on the block, when we change the back, we can actually add a video background. So if you had a video that you wanted to add, you can click on there, add your YouTube video or whatever URL or whatever other video that you've got somewhere in the system, and you can actually do that, and you can actually change the volume of the video in the background as well. You can tell it to loop the start and end for a part of the video if you don't want the whole thing playing. So there's an option there to add a video as a background. You can actually add a gradient, which is kind of cool. You can see how it's darker over one side than it is over the other side, and the gradient settings are completely up to you. So you have a start color over the top right, the end color in the left. You can make it linear or radial, so that changes it to a circle style versus a linear style. And then for a linear style, you can actually change the angle, and you can see how the angle is moving around depending on where we move this slider. Changing the colors is very, very simple. Same as every other color dialog box. You pick the color that you like, and it will change those colors within here. So that's the gradient and the settings. An overlay is when you've got an image and you want to maybe darken the image, so you actually can add a color overlay, and it normally sets at 50% opacity, but you can adjust the opacity and the overlay color to suit what you need. You can add a shape divider. There's lots of different dividers we've got. You see, as soon as I add it, it chose the first curve there, and if you look at the list, we've actually got 6 different curves: triangles, undefined, Lots of different ways you can actually set the style. So if we do curve 2, it changes it to the concave there. If we go to curve 3, it should be the complete opposite of that, so we actually get the bow. A lot easier than trying to upload images as a background and make them actually fit is to use these shape dividers. We've actually got a curve with opacity. So what you can see here is the background color is a slightly different, and it's got so there you can actually change that divider color to the white, so all you get is the curve with the white. Very similar to the setup I've got on my homepage if you take a look. So shape dividers, there's lots of other ways to do the dividers. Now you notice here the divider looks like it's in the wrong place. You can change the shape divider position, you can flip it, or you can invert it. If you flip it, it will actually do nothing on this one. If you invert it, what it does is creates the inverted triangle at the bottom, so you actually get the right shape. And you can also do a divider at the top, and because we inverted it, it looked wrong, but there's your divider at the top. There are so many different ways to actually set up these blocks with different shape dividers, overlays, gradients. One of the key things that I love about the blocks is being able to add an anchor point to each block that you create if you wanted to. So for example, if you created a block with your contact information, you can literally create an anchor point called contact, and then when you're actually doing a link from a button or something like that, you can actually choose that anchor point as a contact, choose that anchor point as a place to go when you're creating buttons and links. So that's it with the block on the coloring, the styles and everything else. Also is the resize container. And you'll notice in some websites you've actually got a boxed view, so you've got gaps on the sides, some are full width, and a lot of times in some of the softwares you've got a trouble trying to make it fit and go whichever way you want. So we've actually got a full width option built into each and every block. So what that does now, as you can see, it actually takes the column right to the edge of the screen. You can resize it by adding margins left and right, so we can actually take this margin here at 10% and 10%, or you can keep it full width, and now any content you add in here would actually reach from this handlebar there to that handlebar there, so you've actually got a much wider play area if you want. If we actually go back to the resize, as well as boxed and full width, you've got a normal height, which is whatever you adjust it to, plus container height. So the actual full container height on a block is actually quite a bit bigger than you expect. I've actually not used this, but you can see how this is actually making a really big container where you can actually fill it with content. One last thing on the blocks, that's what I do. Let's going to resize this. I'm going to take it back to the boxed and the normal. Just with that, you can actually keep it at full height on mobile as well, which does make a difference with the mobile. Sometimes it's actually scrolling, but let's do it normal, let's do it box, take it back to the normal size, and here we are. But it kept those margins, so if you think about a column, we can actually make columns narrower or wider within the actual block. That's the block widget. There's actually quite a lot to it, even though it's pretty much simple to add a block from here. One other way to add a block, and this is where the templates come in handy. You can actually, at the bottom of each section, there's a button that says add block. When you're adding a block, you can either do it using the widget where it's got container, or you can actually add a block and use a blank one or one of our pre-designed templates. So all of these are categories of templates for blocks that have already been pre-designed for you. So if you wanted to do a call to action block with an image and some headline text, you can literally select that block and it would build it in there ready for you to start customizing to fit your needs. Lots of blocks to choose from, lots of different ways to do it. If you put a block in that you don't like, hover over block, click delete, and it'll make sure that you want to delete widget. Click yes. That takes care of the block, gets it out of the way. Lots you can do with blocks. One other of my really that makes this different for me is there are times you put a block or a section on your page that maybe has a lead magnet opt-in with a form and a picture and everything else, and you want to put it on multiple pages. So the really cool thing is the copy widget button. If you click on copy, you'll get a little icon that appears here with a copy icon, if you like, in a circle. You click on that and it will actually remember the things you have copied, and you'll actually have multiple options here if you've copied a lot of things that you can literally drag back onto the page or onto a new page, and it will be an exact duplicate of the one you copied if you didn't make any changes. You can also save a block for future use in your account on any page you've got. And I mean any page you've got. So if you've got multiple sites, multiple funnels, you can actually save one of these blocks and drag it across to other sites and other funnels within your project. Really cool feature. The copy actually works with pretty much every widget we've got as well. So there are other things that you want to copy and clean, you can actually put them here. Copied ones will go on this first tab here with copied. Saved ones will stay there forever until you actually delete them. And the way to save it in your account is click save. Give it a name, currently empty block because I didn't put anything in it. And there's the empty block, and what you'll see now is that empty block with the title empty block is saved in there. The only way to get it out of the saved elements is to click delete. Out here you can actually just clear any copied. You'll have nothing in the copied section, but it will stay in the saved section if that's where you put it. That's your blocks. That's what you can do with blocks. A lot more to come on some of these widgets. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you've got any questions, don't forget you can reach me at support@contentforcoaches.com. You can actually click on the submit a ticket in this help center. And if there's anything you need at all, do not hesitate to let me know. This is Steve Black with Content for Coaches. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.